My name is Robert Pomazek. I'm the head football coach at St. Charles North High School. This is my 7th year in that position. 2 years ago at the USA Football Clinic, I found out about this player monitoring system from a coach at DeSoto High School who had used it with his program, and how game-changing it was to be able to look at hard data on what the physical load the players were taking on. So when I looked into it, it seemed like a clear-cut winner for us to take our program to the next level. I decided to invest in the technology because for us, the return on investment is huge when we are able to keep our players fresher longer and be able to analyze and adjust the practice model based on individual player load. It's not just this cookie cutter mentality. I'm able to kind of look at each player and what they're undertaking and make a specific lowest prescribed dose practice for that player. The ideology of kind of running kids into the ground has changed, and so for me, I need hard data to do that, and so this player monitoring system allows me to do that. The data points and metrics that I look at the most for our guys are going to be sprint distance, total caloric expenditure. Impacts do play a factor into it, but we're so light on impact to begin with, I've kind of gravitated away. But a lot of it's based on position being played. Our wide receiver group, I'll take a look at total sprint distance. We've made a small modification in if a player runs a deep route, we immediately put a new player in so that player can then just walk back, and within a week I saw a difference of 250 yards of sprint distance being cut down. So really it kind of look for the hot spots and with the players and kind of see what I can do to adjust. But those are the areas that we probably focus on the most. The appreciation from the parent group in putting their sons in top-of-the-line quality technology so that we can make their performance be at its best when it needs to be. I think the feedback from the players has been positive. They like wearing it. They feel important when they wear it. They don't truly understand all of the data that maybe we're looking at, but when we bring them into the conversation and let them have a say in what their practice looks like, I think they feel appreciated, and it's a two-way street. It's not just a dictatorship. We're doing this together, so when we bring them in for the conversation of how do you feel right now, how's the workload going, and we can compare what they say to what the data is telling us, I think that lends itself to a really good conversation, because oftentimes the players won't tell us the truth, but then when we show them the data that's behind it, then we get a little bit more of an honest reply as to, I'm feeling tired or I feel fresh. I think the technology is a huge recruiting tool because it allows us to give college coaches hard data. A player can look fast, he can play fast, but when you are able to say, on this particular play, he hit 21.4 miles per hour in a game, in pads, that puts a quantifiable line to something. If I were ever to go to another school or institution, one of the first initiatives that I would take would be to invest in a player monitoring system. And we would probably want to go a step further and get more of our players on the system. But it would be something that I would take a great deal of interest in. I do think it's a new frontier in athletics. Strength and conditioning has gotten to the point where everybody's doing it, so now where do we take the next step? And I think the player monitoring system is the next frontier in high school and collegiate athletics. Obviously, the tech services, you can reach out, and if you have a question, they're always pretty eager to get back to you. We've had a lot of questions on how do we synthesize the data that we're getting, great conversations over the phone on how we can best use the data that we're getting. So that's probably the biggest thing, is it's almost like you have a separate department within your program. And as a head coach, you wear a lot of hats, and it's great to be able to kind of have that resource so you don't have to do it all yourself.